Paul, welcome to Late to the Party.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. My first question, are you a late or early person?
I'm literally the most chronically late person I've ever encountered in my fucking life. Like,
You were only like 8 minutes late today.
In fact, I was about to say I was early today. I fucking wasn't. No, like, my boyfriend said to me today, he went, why don't you put the time in your phone 10 minutes before the real time? And I was like, no, because I'll know. And I'll just be like, fuck, that's wrong
That's
anyway.
the problem.
Yeah, there's no solution to, I've thought about trying everything.
Say if you were like going to like a birthday party, would you be happily very late for that?
Yeah, I feel like a party's an easier thing to be late for because it's cool to be late.
It's cool to be late and it's also like
don't
fine
want to be like
leave early.
first person there.
That's
so
embarrassing.
Yeah, that's so cringe.
What do you sort of say when you're late? Do you just say, sorry, I have a problem. My boyfriend's told me that I should change the time in my diary, but it's not working. Nothing's working.
No, like I think anyone in my life would expect that. I actually really value when people tell me to be there at a certain time because they know I won't be there at that time. So I like when people they take the responsibility of making me not too late. They'll be like, yeah, be there for 7, and they were like, we don't need to leave till like 8.
Yeah. So they know.
Yeah.
They know that you'll come
it's
at
known,
8.
Widely known.
And in work, do you do that?
I've never been late for a show.
That's good.
I think because I'm like so fucking scared. But then I don't know, because I honestly, whenever people say to me, how can you be late again? Like, how can you? And I'm like, I just can't help it. Honestly, I've got something wrong with my brain, but I've never been late for a show. I've missed it. People go, you wouldn't miss a flight. I fucking would. I have. But like a show and anything work related, well, no. And like, if anyone I've ever worked with listens to this, to be like, have you fucked?
You were 2 hours late.
Like a real job, I'd definitely be late for. Yeah, definitely. I don't give a fuck. That's the problem. There's nothing that can make me give a fuck.
Do you have ADHD?
Yeah, well, I'm diagnosed, but 100%.
Yes, same. My issue is, I remember once, this was so weird. I was going to meet someone, Sophie Duker actually. I was going to meet Sophie, and we agreed to meet at a certain time. For some reason, I looked at City Mapper and I was like, okay, so I'll get the train at that time, the time that we were meant to meet. And that felt logical in my head that I would leave my house at the time we'd agreed to meet.
Yeah,
and only when I got on the train, I was like, oh, we were meant to meet at this time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I relate to that as well. What is it called? Time blindness.
Yes.
It's so annoying because I know in like this day and age, it's literally like, who fucking doesn't have ADHD? But like, and it's literally all people talk about, and it's very like, people really make it their personality, don't they? But it's kind of hard not to bring it up because it causes all issues in your life.
I do think time blindness is real.
No, it is, definitely.
When I'm on stage, it will suddenly have been an hour.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that.
No.
Definitely not. But I don't know if I told you this before, my worst time blindness, and maybe it wasn't time blindness. It was being very drunk. Did I tell you when I did Late and Live?
No.
So
Late and Live is a late night comedy show at the end of a Fringe.
It starts at 1 or it ends at 1.
No, it ends at like 3.
Yeah, it's really fucking late. But I basically they were like, do you want to headline this really last minute? I was like, fuck it, yeah, why not? And I got on. I was feeling a bit nervous because I've only ever done hour shows. Like, I didn't start doing 5-minute slots and whatever, so I only did hours. So I was like, how the fuck am I going to shorten this? And they said to me, do 20 minutes, and if it's going well, do 25 maybe, and then we'll give you a wee flash and then you'll know the time's up. And I was like, cool, sounds good. Went on stage. It was not my crowd. People are really drunk, but not in a rowdy way, in a kind of like falling asleep way.
In a quite like weird way.
Yeah, and you know, it's the classic when it's not your crowd. It's like, okay, make me laugh then. Like,
well, also, it's like they have been drinking probably since like 4 p.m.
Yeah,
it's now 2 a.m.
Yeah, so they're all fucked. Like, I got on stage and I started, and like normally I could pace it a lot better on my show because like I know, right, okay, there's a big laugh here. I can kind of let that laugh happen. But that wasn't happening. So I was like, fuck. So I was just like rattling through the material like so quick. And then I was like, I've done my full set and it's only been 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck am I going to do? And it was because I never really drank before a gig, and I was fucking steaming, like drunk on stage. And I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I was just like pulling stuff out my arse. It was a fucking disaster. Like, just trying to come up with anything possible to say. And then I was like, where the fuck is this flash? It's surely been 20 minutes. Where the fuck's this flash? I kept going. It was awful. There was genuinely a guy in the front row like asleep, and I was like, I don't know what, this is the worst experience of my life. And obviously you're having these thoughts in your head whilst you're actually still speaking.
No, it's
and standing
awful.
in front of people. It's horrendous. And then I was looking around, and eventually something caught my eye, and at the side of the stage now there was the producer show like jumping up and down, waving her hands. and she was like, basically like, you need to get off. And then there was the woman who was hosting the show was there as well. A random guy they'd got to try and get my attention. They'd been flashing up the top for fucking ages.
So how long did you do?
Well, at that point, I was like, okay, I need to get off, but I can't just stop in the middle of this story. So I'll finish the story. I did another 5 minutes, and then I came off stage and they went, you just done 45
You're
minutes.
lying. You're lying.
And I was like, fuck off. And they're like, the staff are like, we need to go.
Also amazing. You hated every second of it, but did 45 minutes.
Fucking minutes. So time blindness is real. Honestly, it was the one. And I was like, I'm never doing stand-up again in my life. This is over. I'm retiring. I hate my life. I've ruined everyone's life. The staff are probably joining a union.
Get you not allowed. Paul
the
Black
evil
is not allowed
tyrant
back.
comedian.
Yeah.
And I thought, fuck, I don't want to be known as, you know, we hear like through the grapevine of like some well-known comedians are apparently like, they won't get off stage and they just keep going and they do like a 3-hour set and they just like, I didn't want to be known
you don't
as
want that because people do really bitch about that. I have the opposite problem where I always go under, but that's
I do.
fine.
Now I do because I'm so paranoid.
Yeah. So what is your social life like? Do you go out a lot? You're younger than me, aren't you?
Only I think
you're
I'm 2 years younger than you. Yeah.
How old are you?
Yeah, 27.
27,
I'm 28 this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm 2 years younger than you. But I was saying this the other day about how like I'm like, yeah, it's just different now when you get in your later 20s. It's not like clubs. It's more just like I want to go to the pub or like. But I was almost saying it in a way like I don't go out anymore. And I was thinking if anyone of my friends were listening, they'd be like, yes, you fucking
You're in
do.
denial.
Yeah, in denial. But I definitely
so
very
wholesome.
active social life. I
You
would
do?
say, yeah, defos.
Yeah. And did you grow up in Glasgow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was listening to your podcast, which is great, by the way. I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you.
And you were talking about how much Glasgow has changed, like the social scene has changed.
Yeah, it's shit now.
But in what way do you think you're growing out of?
Well, that's what
it
the
used to
dilemma I
be
was trying to
like?
work out. Is it that I'm just getting older or everything is actually shitter now? But
You're not that old though.
I know,
You're not
yeah,
old
yeah.
enough to be like, do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah, but I wouldn't go to the club. I wouldn't do
No.
that. Like, I just wouldn't. Unless I went to see like a DJ or something. Not
but
to say,
maybe
like, a
that's because you
DJ.
feel like you've done it.
Yeah, or to death.
Yeah.
Like, I've done it. Like, it's not, it doesn't need to be done anymore.
Was growing up in Glasgow, like growing up in, like, you've seen my shows, you've heard me talk about
Yeah.
this, but growing up in London was really like, I think it was also just a social group that I found myself in. We started really young.
Yeah.
And now looking back on it, it's probably going to have a huge effect on my life expectancy.
Oh,
how
100%.
young was that the same with you?
Yeah, I think I was like a bit more of a loser in my teen years, but I definitely like it was just everyone that I knew drank like when they were 11 was like probably like the average age in Glasgow.
It's
I
so
would
funny
say.
because if an American person was listening to this, they would
Yeah.
genuinely be
Yeah,
so
because they didn't think
confused
you
by
can
that.
in America you can drive a car when you're like fucking 13,
I
but you can't
know.
drink till you're 21.
But people genuinely don't drink at 11. Whereas, like, I had my first cigarette at 11 and it was a full
I would love to hear your
Pall Mall.
story of your first cigarette.
It was, I remember, it was you remember what no, it was the Mayfair Super King, you know,
Oh,
the really big
so
one.
long.
And we were outside scores with two of my friends and they were like, just do it. And I was tiny, like I was a tiny 11-year-old. And I remember I smoked the whole thing. I don't think I inhaled. I think they were trying to teach me how to inhale. And then I threw up straight away. And then I went home and I like cried to my mum. I was like, I just smoked a cigarette. I really didn't like it. And she was like, don't do it again. And then there I was, you know, like buying a 20-pack the next
Yeah,
day.
I miss when you could buy 10 decks. We would call them 10
Also, when you could
cigarettes.
buy one cigarette.
Yeah, there was an ice cream van in my street growing up that you could just buy one cigarette for 10p, which is such a good deal. Like,
That's
but my
also
first cigarette,
Crazy that it was an
Yeah.
ice cream van.
that was just that. It was a different time.
Yeah, it really was. Because now, well, actually, the other day I was watching these group of kids on a train, and they were all vaping. They were probably like 10, 11. They were all vaping, and then one of them was just going, "Oh, I really wish I never stopped. I never started smoking weed. Like weed's just really ruined my life." He was literally a 10-year-old child. I was like, surely not.
No, I think I was speaking about this in my podcast as well. I don't know if I mentioned I have a podcast, but about how like the issue now is that everybody vapes. Like to me, in my head, I was like, vaping is to stop smoking, but people just started vaping without ever smoking ever, which I always thought was crazy. But now the problem is you can't get a lighter off anyone when you need a lighter.
I know.
'Cause
Well,
they don't
also
smoke.
a cigarette.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
went to Coachella in this year, and America is so interesting. Like, no one smokes in America.
know,
It's
it's
like
like-
a real taboo to smoke in America. It's like
So sad.
shooting up.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that is
the
how
way
they treat
people
it,
look
yeah.
at you is like you are a scum of the earth.
Yeah.
So no, you couldn't even get a cigarette at Coachella.
When I was in New York earlier this year, I was me and my flatmate were like at a train station, and we were just like, fuck it, let's have a fag. Obviously, like I would say most places, apart from like maybe like Eastern Europe, that if you were to smoke on a platform or a train station, you would know that you're not allowed to do that. Even though it makes no sense because it's outside and you should be able to smoke everywhere that's
I can't
outside.
believe you did that in New York.
Well, I just thought, do you know what, it's New York,
Did you
things
get
a
in
bit crazy.
trouble?
Well, no, some vigilante, some guy,
Citizens arrest.
literally, that was the vibe. Some guy came up to us and he was having like a very loud, obnoxious American phone call on his headphones, like they always do. And then he paused it and he went, sorry, took his headphones off and he went, you can't do that here. And we were like, oh, sorry. Obviously, we were like, stubbed it out immediately. We were like, so sorry. Then we're like, fucking wank. Who the fuck does he think he is? Yeah, but Americans will tell you that's the thing.
They will, but also they are. It is different. I do think like a combination of. There's definitely something in the way that like we were probably both what's the word? Indoctrinated into like drinking, smoking culture.
Yeah.
Which normalized it so much that like it took me ages to get to a point where like if I didn't drink at a social event, I didn't feel ashamed. Like I used to feel so ashamed if I went somewhere and was like, I'm not gonna drink.
Oh, of course.
I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, like I'd rather not be there.
I'd be like, oh, I'm not drinking. Actually, do you know what? I'll drink.
Yeah, I know, and I feel like every time I so often go, because I really can take it or leave it with drink. Like I think sometimes I can just be like, I've got my car, it's fine. I'm happy to not drink, especially if I'm with like my own friends and like not at the pub or whatever. If it's just in someone's house, I'm happy to do that. But it does, like when I first did it for the first time, you get that like complex, like superiority complex where you're kind of like, yeah, I don't drink.
Yeah,
like,
I'm better than all
yeah,
of you.
yeah. Like I'm like literally. Oh, that's so sad for you guys that you need drink to have a good
time. It's
Not
like me, been sober one day.
Yeah.
It's like when I do dry January, I just love to talk about it.
Yeah,
so
of
much.
course. And also, two of my brothers are both like sober, like they're like fully like in a program. And it's funny as well because when they first did it, because I always say this, I'm the only one. I've got 3 siblings, and I'm the only one out of all 4 of us.
Are you 4 boys?
No, 3 boys,
3
one girl.
boys, one girl.
I'm the only one that can handle a drink.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
and it's like I know this sounds again like I'm in denial or something, and you're probably thinking your 2 brothers are in recovery. Maybe you.
No,
should
but it's
be.
the same with
But
me. Like I've got a lot of drink problems in my family.
Yeah,
but it's not quite hit me.
I'm just like I'm not that arsed. Like I'm not saying that I don't booze a booze because I do, but I'm like not that arsed. And I think when someone first enters like sobriety, it's so funny. It's like they go into that like initial mode where it's all quite fresh to them, and they'll be like, see you drinking a pint, and they're like, are you sure? Like it's therapize, start therapizing.
Well, it's like they become like an evangelist. Like
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Witness, like they preach to you.
That's
the thing
such
that
a good...
annoys me.
Yeah,
it's like they've discovered something, which is so fair, and people do need it. But sometimes I think there's too much of a like one size fits all thing to people's relationship with alcohol and with substances. That like either you have to like stop forever. Because I've had periods in my life where I've been like, I'm gonna give up for a bit, but not say I'm never gonna do it again because I don't think I have a problem to that extent.
Of course, I think that makes sense because people do. You're right. I think the evangelical comparison you made there is so true because it's like this. Because I grew up in like a kind of evangelical type Americanized church situation.
Really?
Yeah. So,
what like born again?
Yeah, born again Christianity. Yeah, which is interesting because nobody seems to know what it is. Except I was like, where are all these people that went to the church I went to? Because nobody knows what it is. But
so who was born again? Your parents?
My dad.
Wow, okay.
But like he did the whole thing. Like he was like, he was obsessed with being like, I was addicted to drugs, and then I found the Lord, and I was like, you actually weren't. Like you maybe smoked a joint now.
I'm not gonna lie, that's what my dad's like as well. He loves to be like, I was an alcoholic, and then I talk to my mum, and she's like, I mean, he drank a lot, but like nothing crazy.
That's how it was with definitely my dad. But I think as well, he became like a preacher for that type of church. But I actually spoke about this
in Glasgow.
Yeah, and so I spoke about this in a podcast before, and they posted a clip online of me telling this story because it was a big part of my show last year at the Fringe. And someone commented saying, I can't help but feel a bit duped to find out that Paul Black isn't working class after all. And I was like, where'd you get that from? And I realised it's because I said my dad was a preacher, so I think they probably assumed I was like a pastor's son, like in that kind of really like American, like have a big house that you live in, you basically live in the church.
And maybe if you were in America where it's like
it would
a
be
huge
different.
deal, but here it's quite fringy.
Oh no, it was very fringy.
Like people haven't really,
because my dad didn't get paid to do it. It was just like kind of just like not.
So
well.
were you raised like very religious then?
No, it was hard because my mum's side of the family were not religious at all, and neither of my dad's other family. It was him, and then my mum kind of got into it. She was kind of like, "Fuck it, that's the vibe."
So then she just got on board.
Yeah, but it wasn't like we weren't like a family of going to church. It was such a unique kind of dynamic that I feel has been so not relatable the rest of my life. But it was kind of, we would go to church on a Sunday, but then I remember when we were like 8 or 9, my mum and dad got divorced, and then they were like, my mum was like, if you don't want to go to church, you don't have to. And I was like, of course I don't want to fucking go. This is so fucking boring. But the
Thank
type
God.
of church was when they would be like, oh, they were like, Jesus is like a cool dude. Like, he's our friend. Like, and they had like genuinely had a picture of Jesus wearing like billabong shorts and holding a surfboard. Like, I'm not joking. It was legit. Like, it was this whole.
It's like, how do we touch the youth? Let's get Jesus smoking a Lost Mary.
Yeah. That would be it now. I need to go back and see what their approach is now.
Jesus with a vape.
Yeah, I can't even remember why we started talking about that.
No, because you were talking about, I think, alcohol. We were talking about alcohol because, I'm not sure. I actually have lots of.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about sobriety and that
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah, tying in.
So you were raised because born again Christianity is kind of mad.
Yeah, it's very
really
like happy
extreme.
clappy.
Yeah.
Like in the church, and it's like tambourines and shit like
Yeah.
that. But it still obviously has the.
But quite like
overtones of-
anti-abortion.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
like
100%.
homophobic and yeah.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, love the tambourine. Oh, it has streamers on it. This is good. But beyond that, and like you would get like biscuits and tea, and I was like, okay, love this part. But
I get that. I remember when I was younger, when I gave my first blowjob, I was like 14 years old, and I did it in the playground of a synagogue, which like it wasn't. I didn't
Wow.
know. It was a playground. Like me and this other 14-year-old boy had like climbed over into the playground, and we didn't know that we were in the playground of a
oh my
synagogue.
god.
Anyway, I felt so bad. Like the next day, I just felt really ashamed of myself. So I went to confession.
So wait, you raised Catholic?
No. Anyway, I went to this like church because I felt so bad. I was so ashamed of myself. And then they kept saying my name, which I loved because like
Oh,
my name is a
yeah.
huge part of like religion, I guess.
Of
They just kept
course,
saying
yeah.
grace over and over again. So I was getting like, wow, I'm well into this. Then I said, can I do confession? And they were like, this is not a Catholic church. This is
Yeah.
a whatever Protestant church.
Yeah.
And then I said, can I have the bread? And they said, no, because you haven't been whatever.
Well, I discovered that
So you
at
can't
a
have
funeral because I went to a Catholic funeral, and it was like, I was like, shall I go up and do this? And they were like, no, you can't
'Cause
do
you
that.
get
And I was like,
told
oh
off.
fuck yeah, sorry, I won't do that.
Yeah, because you have to be christened or something.
Yeah. But I think I was kind of like baptized or something. I don't know. My dad was like, when I say he was like a pastor, he was literally, and I can say this because it was my dad, fully just like a mentally ill person and I think things like born again Christianity, anywhere where you like open your doors to anyone and you say we take in anyone, is when you get a lot of people who are like my dad who go, oh, I'm so on board with this is going to solve all my problems. But he kind of used it
He
as
ran
an
with
identity.
it.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
ran with it and was just doing his own twist on it. And he smoked a lot, right? But he was like, no one in the church can know that I smoke, so he would have this horrible aftershave.
Oh my God.
It's called Kuros.
Oh.
It's like, I think it's YSL or something. Sorry, YSL, but it's stinking.
YSL,
and it's actually quite
sponsor
traumatic
Paul's
to me.
podcast.
No, I'm very traumatized by the smell of Kuros by YSL because it reminds me of my dad smoking like 700 cigarettes and
And
then
then
going,
spraying it.
yeah, so he lived a double life.
Yeah, but it's so interesting that you would be in a church that like you're not allowed to smoke. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just it's so crazy, these like rules that
Yeah,
we
they
get
di-
taught.
They didn't make any sense, really, and you could tell. I think I knew even at that age, I was like, everyone here is like a massive hypocrite, and like they're going and they're preaching all these things, but like I could literally say, my dad was literally leading sermons, and I was like, I know you're smoking licorice roll-ups, you freak. Why are you going in there trying to be all high and mighty, literally?
Okay, so do you like hosting?
I do, but I don't like. My flat is so fucking tiny that I always like. I'm not trying to be really just be like I'm so selfless. But the only reason I ever want to have a big house is so I can host.
Same.
I love that idea.
I want to have a big house so that everyone can live with me.
Yeah,
That's what I
again,
want.
just be like, yeah, stay in one of my 8 bedrooms. Just
That's
do
what
it.
I want. I
I
just
would
want
love that.
people always there.
Yeah.
And then people just, because I do have this amazing luxury with all of my friends that for some reason they all clean up after me.
Oh my
I
god.
just don't have an issue with it.
Well, that's what I was about to say though. That's the thing I don't like about hosting.
Yeah.
Is then
that's what
it's
I
a
hate
fucking
about it.
riot, and you always forget how bad it gets. And there's just like, I was cleaning up a party like at my boyfriend's house a few weeks ago, and like I was just like, fuck this, I'm never doing this again in my life.
It's because I actually can't open bins. I have a real thing about I can't open bins. Like,
You don't have the physical ability,
no.
or what?
I'm so weak. I can't open a bin.
Yeah, fair.
No, the smell of bins.
Yeah.
It sends
And bin
me really
juice.
wet. Ugh.
Yeah, I used to work in a pub where I had to take the bins out, and it was like a massive. So this place in Glasgow called SWG3, and it's like a big warehouse, like where they just host like club nights or DJs or whatever. So it's huge, and then there's like 30 people working in the bar at one time. And so at the end of the cleanup, that is kind of like, oh, it'll be quite fast because there's lots of us, but we'd have to take all the glass out and then empty it, and then take all the bins out and empty them. But I'd just go out and I'd just start smoking a fag, and I'd be round the corner and I'd be like, sorry, I feel so bad. I know that's not very team player of me, but I was like, I ain't doing this shit anymore. I'd done it for long enough.
That's how I feel in my own house.
That's slightly different.
I just I now live with someone, which is great because she's really clean and like doesn't mind. She just cleans sort of naturally, and she's really good with the bin. But when she moved into
really
our
good with the bin.
like it's a pet. It's my arch nemesis.
She's so
that
good
lives
with the
us.
bin.
It's hell. But when she moved in, she was like, the bin is so small. Like, how have you been living here for like 4 years with a bin this small?
I hate small bins.
And I was like, because I don't use it.
What do you do?
Like, I just...
Do you live in like despair and like not despair? Like
no, I'm very clean. I just don't cook that much so that I can
Yeah.
avoid the bin and the fridge. I don't like fridges.
And you don't like aircon.
No, I don't like aircon. So basically,
Yeah, maybe
I need
it's
to
another
just be in a
diagnosis we
field. Paul's fascinated by the fact that I hate aircon so much.
I just think that's insane. Why the fuck would you hate aircon?
I go to war with aircon.
Yeah.
Like the amount of places that I'm in that I try and get them to turn the aircon
But it's
off.
like cause nobody's house in the UK has aircon.
Thank
so
God.
but so like you don't ever have to really encounter it, and obviously when you're doing gigs that often happens. But the whole thing at the Fringe, some people even advertise the show going, by
It
the way, our
has
room has
aircon."
aircon
I
this
know.
year.
And then I tried to get them to turn the aircon off in my venue, and they were
You're like,
Grace,
I'm going to ruin everyone's
they were
night.
like, but everyone's gonna be really hot. And I was like, yeah, but would they rather I'm not enjoying it, or would they rather
Yeah,
enjoy it?
that's
Like,
true.
I'm not gonna give as good a performance if I'm freezing cold. But then weirdly, when you're performing, you do warm up.
Oh yeah, and this year I have like because the show I'm doing this year is like just daft, like it's because it's a sketch show and it's just got like wigs in it, like shit Poundland wigs, and I didn't like realize how roasting I was going to be on stage, like
That
wearing a
room you're in
fucking
is quite
Timu
hot.
wig,
Mm.
and it's like it's sweaty time, and then I need to take it off for my stand up bits, and then I've just got like a sweaty fringe.
Oh, no.
I wish we had aircon. We might actually. I haven't checked.
No, I don't think that room has aircon.
No.
No. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, so say if you were, right, this is my new questions that I'm trying. If you were given £100,000 to host a party, right? Where would it be? Who would you get to perform? What would the food and drink situation be?
Right, I think I'm going to go straight away. My mind went to how much of this can I keep? So I think I know a lot of comedians, they can perform.
Yeah.
Venue, I'll get it as a favour. I'll do it. Do you know what? I love the best parties in the world, and I don't know how this is culturally outside Scotland, but seeing like a bowling club or like a miners club, that type of like.
You see, this is a complete side note. Kaylee's in Scotland. I love a Kaylee.
Yeah.
I would love to get married in Scotland just so I could have a
Oh,
Kaylee.
that would be so nice. I love Kaylee's, but see in school, this is a bizarre thing we have in Scotland where in PE in school there's a module for Scottish dancing, and like everyone be like, fuck this, I'm not doing that, that's so embarrassing. Like you would be mortified because you get teenagers and you need to hold hands with a girl, and that like for me I was like, it's fine because I'm friends with all the
Are
girls.
you really good at
already.
Scottish dancing?
I can't remember much of it, but it's one of those things. It's like you've got the kind of muscle memory for it, and
Well,
you
it's
could give it a
quite
go.
also like that. It's the only dancing I enjoy doing because
Yeah,
it's
it's
sort
fun,
of,
and it's like
fun and
you
it's-
don't need rhythm because
you don't need rhythm, thank God. Because
yeah,
like,
there's no freestyle
Yeah,
section.
yeah, exactly.
And it's
Very
like
regimented.
I like it because I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking love being Scottish. It makes you feel that way, and they basically just play this bagpipey song on loop, and then you just have to go. It's like heel 2 3 4, back 2 3 4, clap.
It's like line dancing,
yeah,
isn't it?
but
Yeah.
it's better than line dance because I'm passionate about line dancing as well.
Right. Oh, are you really?
Yeah, because it's like, so what I was saying about those like hall parties, we'd call it a hall party, which would be in a bowling club or a social club of some kind, where like a pint
Like
is £2.
an old working man's
yeah.
club, yeah.
Like where your grandparents might go socially, like that type of vibe is always the best parties, at least for me in Scotland growing up, because it's like the local takeaway is doing the buffet, somebody's mum's made the sandwiches, there's a shite DJ that's actually really good, and all the booze is so cheap, and it's like a
And
vibe.
then
It's
would
so
you
cheap.
be doing line dancing?
No, but that's what I have. Yeah, thanks, because I was actually about to go, where the fuck am I talking about here? I can't remember. But so basically, the slot, you would do the
with
slosh.
line dancing, that sounds like my dream.
But you don't do it all
social
night. But like
event.
this, you know the song "Beautiful Sunday"? It goes, "Hi, hi, beautiful Sunday."
No, is that a Scottish song?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't know
I was
where it
gonna
comes
say because I've never heard of it.
No, but it's basically when that song comes on, like all the women got up and me, all the middle aged when it, like, because I know this is why I'm like, I was such a fucking gay child. Like, why was I in amongst all 50-plus-year-old women doing what we call the slosh? So that's like a just a wee dance we do to this song, and you literally, it goes like 3 steps, kick, 3 steps the other way, kick, then you slap your knee, turn around, and do it in rotation.
That's really nice.
Very nice, yeah. I
Really
like doing
nice.
it. I've kind of done it to death now, and I used to be like, haha, we're at a party where there's like not a whole party and there's no old people here, but I'm going to like put on
Is
that
that
song
your
and do the
party
slosh.
trick?
Yeah, but it's very like
Where's the orb?
kind of cringe now. It's been done to death by me, but yeah. So that's what the vibe I would want in my party. But it means, you know what, I could pay the people that are used to like doing the buffet for nothing a wee bit. I'd give them a decent amount.
What
'cause they
kind of
deserve
food?
it. I think honestly, I'm a lover of all foods in terms of shit food from a takeaway, like the most like awful food in the world, and also the fanciest shit. And I don't know where I got that from, like, because I was not like, I was like the classic growing up. It was like baked beans, potato smiley faces, fish fingers. Like that was it.
Literally my
And
dream meal.
I know it's so
It's
fucking
my
good,
dream
isn't it?
meal.
And is
Smiley
there? I was wondering
faces,
about,
oh.
is there a gentrified place in London that like has found a way to sell that?
Yeah,
and
it's
they're like,
called Norman's.
oh, it's real? Oh,
Like become
fuck.
like no, it has. It's
Sorry.
become, sorry to shit on them, but it's become like a bit of a joke because
Yeah, they're like,
they
oh
do
my
like
God.
potato waffles, baked beans, but it's like £15.
Oh,
I mean, I could
that's
be
out
lying
of
about
order.
that, but then Burberry did a collab with them. And then
Oh,
everyone
for
was like,
fuck's
"Fuck
sake,
off."
that's
Like,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is actually a place in London. I've still not been. I keep meaning to go every time I go. It's called Old Hag, like
I've
old,
not heard of that.
but old, because that's how Scottish
Oh,
people
like
say it.
old. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it sells like Scottish breakfast stuff.
Oh, I
and-
have heard
and-
about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently it's, and that's like not a gentrified one. I think
It's legit.
It's legit. Yeah, it's
Oh, okay,
legit.
I'll go there. I'm sure they're
It's
all.
in Angel, I think. I don't know. Maybe
I
not.
don't know why I've never been there. It's like a patriarch.
Yeah, because you're so
Because I'm
Scottish.
so Scottish. We'll come on to that. So,
Yeah.
so that would be your dream party.
Yeah, it needs to have that very vibe, and it's also
Low
kind of
key,
low key,
but chic.
like
is how I
shit little
describe that.
light machine that the DJ who's called Keith and like does this on a Saturday, and his wife's like, you better get a fucking
And
real
what
job.
kind of music's he playing?
I like what we would maybe call like, I feel like if any Scottish people listen to this, they'll be like, fucking shut up. But I don't know, like I'm trying to find a better way to describe it than like bam tunes.
What does that
But
mean?
like a bam is like a Ned, like a chav. So like
like sort of pop.
no, like, see, there was a big era in the early 2000s of like local Scottish DJs who would make it. Actually, it's bizarre because it sounds a lot like PC music now, like Charlie XCX type vibe with auto-tuned pitched vocals really fast. Like we had this thing called New Monkey. Don't know if you knew that.
No.
It was like a trend where people did like this. It was bizarre because it was like Neds or chavs, I guess you'd call them, dressed in their like Lacoste tracksuits and their gel down fringes, but they would upload videos to themselves to people like dancing to this song. And I'm like, when would it ever be socially acceptable for like that type of person to upload a video of themselves dancing? But it was a trend, and I feel like I'd
love
need to
the
show you it.
internet.
But I know it's amazing, and they would have like or a big one that I would hire someone to do this at my dream party. That these Neds used to like video themselves like dancing with glow sticks in their hands, but it was like whilst like freestyle MCing, would you call it? I
Right.
don't-
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's very.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna have to like
This
show
is
you it
so
because
like
I feel like
I'm
I'm so
so-
used to people just knowing what I mean, and that's because I live in a Scottish bubble in my life. But that to me is what just reminds me of growing up. It was like that was what was happening.
I
so
love
like
that though, but it's also
Yeah.
that's mad that it's like a sort of subculture that never made it.
Oh
like,
yeah, outside of Scotland,
London.
definitely no, and it's probably like definitely like working class culture has been gentrified, and not gentrified, sorry, appropriated.
yeah.
Like obviously that's the thing, and like And it's interesting in it because like things like Burberry, we were just talking about like how that became. It was Daniela Westbrook, wasn't it, that had the like head to toe Burberry, and then it became like the thing that it wasn't as.
But
like,
then Burberry like didn't want it to be that way, so we're then trying to like put people off of wearing it, and then tried to change it up, and then actually people really loved the tartan.
Yeah, and then but they do it in all sorts of ways as well. Because like Gucci, I remember reading this thing that someone was selling these fake Gucci products and they were like so obviously fake, and now like the logo was too big and like all these things that anyone could go, that's fake. But then Gucci were like, we're going to copy that guy's designs and release them. So then they were kind of like, oh, it's like a new like haute couture thing that it looks fake but it's not. I'm like, it's mad. I'm like, you've just done the guy selling the fakes out of money here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and also
you're stealing his ideas.
His designs.
But then he copied
yours,
so yeah.
Yeah, but he's not making a shitload of money.
No.
Like the fucking ups. What's the phrase? Up marketing, scaling.
Yeah,
of that stuff is crazy.
I know.
Who would be say if you're going to see. Oh, you love Lady Gaga, don't you?
Yeah, I
Say if
do.
you're going to go see Lady Gaga in Vegas. She's doing a Vegas residency.
She's just finished.
She's just finished.
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't make it?
No, because it's fucking like
It's ridiculous.
$2,000 for a ticket.
No way.
Yeah.
You know, I met her once.
Shut up.
Yeah, I went to her house in LA.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
When why only bring it up now?
I had at the time was working in documentary films, and a friend of mine, Greg, was doing a job where it was Lady Gaga was FaceTiming Prince William to talk about their mental health.
Oh,
right?
fuck, I've seen that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course.
So he was like, we need like a production assistant to come out to her house in Malibu. So will you come? And I was like,
I know the
obviously.
house.
It was
Yeah, because I watched her
real.
Vogue video going in there.
You drive in and there's like paddocks with horses on either side. She was also incredible. Like she was so nice.
I can't believe that.
And she was like,
So
really
you were in her house.
In her house. We're there for a day. And they'd just been sent the script for A Star Is Born, and they were all talking about it. And they had like the physical script on the stairs. And I was like, the fucking, inside scoop part of me wants to like go and pick up the script and steal it, but I didn't because I wanted to be able to invite it back. Obviously, I was never going to get invited back.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga's house is very much
But
a
there's
once in a lifetime experience. But she was really nice and just very small.
Did you ever get to speak to her directly?
Yeah, she came over to me and she was like, "How are you? What's your name?" And then she kept like referring to me across the room.
That's my dream.
I know.
But I just, do you know what I always think when meeting famous people, right? Because I think in this industry, you meet the odd person that's actually pretty famous. You meet a lot of like C-list, and then occasionally you meet like a really A-list, and you're like, all it made me think is whenever I see a famous person that I really like, I know in my head there is nothing I can say to them right now that's going to like make them my friend.
No.
Make them go, oh my god, are you secretly really talented? And
Yeah.
I can explore that
Yeah.
somehow. And like it's not going to fucking happen.
That's why I think you almost should never meet these people because
never.
you're always
What's the
going to
point?
leave disappointed. It's like even when I left Lady Gaga's house, I was like, well, I'm never going to go back to that house. Like, I wish
No,
I
we
didn't
need
know
to
what the house looked like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
now I know I'm never going back to it.
I know that is true. It's like, and I can't even remember who it was now. It was someone that I really liked. Oh no, I won't say their name, but I seen this
Why?
celebrity because well, in case I ever meet them again. And I was like, I met them and I was like gearing up to, like, I went to see a play they done and I was gearing up to meet them afterwards because now when big actors are like, I'm going to do theatre now and I'm going to like actually wait out and meet people, and that makes me really like
humble and down
yeah,
to
when I do
earth.
theatre, when I have a wee theatre reader.
Yeah.
And I waited and I was like, oh, I've got all these things I'm going to say to him, and like he's going to love me because I'm Scottish. And fuck's sake, I was James
He's
McAvoy.
Scottish.
No, but this isn't bad. I'm not saying I had a bad experience with him. I think he's a fucking legend. Just so you know. But I was like, oh, I'm going to tell him the Celtics score because we're both Celtic fans, and I thought he'll love that, and he'll be like, oh my god, you're amazing. What do you do, by the way? Do you want to work with me? And I was like, wait to this queue, and then I was with my auntie, and she was like talking to me.
Is that the one that I met?
Yeah. I go to like every show with him.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I was all right, James, how you doing? And then I was like, almost waiting for him to be like, oh, you're from Glasgow, we should be best friends. And then I was like, oh, we came down for Glasgow to see the show, it was amazing. He was like, oh, thanks. And I was like, oh, what did you make the score? Get beat 2-0 by Cluj, which I think they went, oh, no. But he was really nice. He was really friendly and really
you
nice.
just thought
It
he
wasn't
was
a
gonna
bad
be like,
experience.
let's go and watch the highlights
Yeah,
together.
it was like, do you want to just like,
Yeah.
let's go to the pub?
Yeah.
But it's never going to happen, guys.
It's never going to be like that. The thing is, sometimes it is like that, and that's really cool. And like,
Yeah.
that does sometimes happen.
Does it?
Yeah, it has happened to me
Oh.
sometimes. But I think that's because they already have known me before I've met them.
Yeah, yeah.
I think going up to someone cold and being like hello and expecting them to like
Yeah.
instantly fall in love with
It's
you,
so
that
funny.
never happens.
Yeah.
I think the problem with meeting someone that you've like admired for a long time, and either they're going to be like really boring and that's going to disappoint everything and ruin it for you,
Yeah.
or they're not going to be nice and that's going to ruin it, or they're going to be nice for 2 minutes and then they're going to walk away and you're never going to have access to them again.
And then you can't even think, maybe I'll have that, like you said, Lady Gaga, because you've had the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's been done.
It's
not
like
gonna
when I
happen
go
again.
to like an insane house like that,
Yeah.
and then I leave and I'm like, I actually really, I'm upset now.
Yeah.
Because like, that's not my house. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
want that
I
house.
know.
And I want
you're
that
never
like
gonna
beach
get enough.
view, and I
No.
want like all of these assistants around. Like she had so many assistants just like looking after all of her
That's my
stuff and her
dream.
dogs, and I was like, this is all I've
Do you
ever
remember when our
wanted.
dogs went missing?
Yes.
And then the dog walker got shot?
Yeah, she got shot after the dog went
Yeah.
missing. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, crazy. Sorry,
Never be a
ruined the
dog
vibe.
walker.
Yeah,
I always hear
being a
awful
dog walker
stories
is
about
so
dog
dangerous.
walkers, yeah.
So do you employ dog walkers?
I have my mum
Okay.
and then my friend that I live with, so they're very reliable people.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when I go away, I'll like pay for someone to stay in my house. But ideally, I don't love doing that because I hate thinking that anyone slept in my bed.
Yeah.
It's my worst nightmare.
I would be like, I'm obsessed with wondering if people would ever read my diary, and I'm like, why did it as a 27-year-old man do I have a diary? That's one question. But I don't actually.
Do you actually write in your diary?
No, I
What
just
do you
now when you're
say?
like in a mood, now when you really need like therapy the most,
Like,
and then you try everything,
journaling.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
start journaling, but you only do that shit when you're like so,
sad,
so
and then you
sad.
look back at it and it's like a horrible like.
yeah, or you're also
It's like
like
looking at your
fucking
Google
get over it.
searches. Yeah.
Like it's so bad. It wasn't that serious.
Stop being so indulgent.
It was so like, okay, go out and fucking breathe fresh air. But I always think, I know I've got like a few of them randomly skewed around my house, and I'm like, if someone's in my house, they're going to read them.
Yeah.
But I think you need to be a particular type of person to read someone's diary.
someone's diary. I would never read someone's
Such
diary.
as
I would
me.
go
No,
through
okay.
their phone though.
That's the thing. It's a slippery slope. You know,
I think if you're going through someone's diary, you're also in the same league as going through someone's.
yeah, yeah. But actually, I think going through a diary is even more intimate.
It is, but it's more embarrassing. I actually think I'd be icked out by reading someone's diary.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Because there's something really cringe about it. But that I shouldn't say that because that probably puts people off doing it. And I think it's really good for your mental
No, you
health.
should do it. But I read a book, the Matthew McConaughey's
Oh my god,
autobiography.
I
one.
hated that book.
Me too. It made me
Hated
hate
it.
him because I was like, do you know what? I've never really learned much about him, but I was like, fuck it. I like a self-help book. Someone recommended it. It was all it did was make him look fucking evil.
He came across so
bad.
badly.
And he was just like, these are all the ways that I've done bad things. And I'm still okay.
And I'm rich and famous, so
Yeah, and
fuck all of you.
And there was a bit where he was like, he finally made it, and because he had like a like helper who lived with him or something, like this woman that he like someone company worked for employed, and he was like, I was getting my jeans pressed every day, and I was like, right.
Did you listen to the audiobook?
Yeah, I
I
did the
listened to
audiobook, yeah.
and
Oh,
when he read
sorry.
it was so creepy.
Every time that I say I read a book, I listen to the
but
audiobook.
this is also again, don't meet your heroes because
Oh.
like they shouldn't.
Don't
be allowed
listen to your
write
hero's
books.
audiobook.
You shouldn't be able to access that much of them. They should be so mysterious.
Did you not remember the bit where he kept speaking about his dad being his hero, and how he said that his dad left this world the way he always wanted to, making love to a woman who was like obviously his mum. I was like, enough. Where's the editor? Get this out the book. He just kept talking about how his dad died whilst shagging his
fucking
mum.
his mum.
Yeah.
I did not get that far.
Yeah, I
listened
wish
to
I
it
did
for about
then.
half an hour, and I was
I
like,
completed
can't
it, and
be
I
arsed
was
with
like, wish I didn't do that.
this. Right, I want to quickly talk about. Okay, so, oh yeah, what's the like worst thing that's ever happened to you at a social interaction? Like, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
I literally everything that's ever happened to me. Oh, that's hard. Like the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me at a party. Do you know what? I just think a lot of the most embarrassing things come from being like really drunk and then like being sick everywhere or something. Like I haven't done that, but I am bad for posting things on Instagram that I meant to post in the close friends, to the point that I actually just made a whole new Instagram because I was like, I can't have a close friends because
What
I
were you
can't trust
posting
myself.
on by accident?
So many things actually, and look, we've all done it. But
We've all done it,
I
don't
posted
worry.
a video. This isn't even bad, but I was telling someone this today that I posted a picture of this guy who was working in. I was in Malaga, and there was this guy working in the kebab shop that really was the double of like a Celtic player at the time, but he was like like 15 years old or something, working in a kebab shop in Spain. And I took a picture of him, and the player was called Jota, and I tried to write I love Jota or Jota I love you, but I just wrote Jota I love. I'd just taken a picture of a complete random person, which I think is always an insane thing to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm literally doing this for my close friends because this guy looks like him, and he smiled for the photo. Like I wasn't like
Right. Oh, fine.
sneakily,
Oh, fine.
but I was like I've always said, like, see people that are just so comfortable uploading pictures of people and making fun of them, that's so fucked up. And I wasn't making fun of them. But anyway, I just woke up the next day, and it was like, for some reason, you know, sometimes your Instagram stories get like a couple of thousand, sometimes all your followers see them and you're like, what the fuck? And this was that day. I think it said something like 50,000 people had viewed it or something, and I've never even had that in my life. And I was like, I'm gonna end it all. And they were trying to like, but it wasn't
at least
even.
it wasn't like a video of you
been,
taking cocaine.
yeah,
or
that
something like
like
that.
something like that would be awful. Exactly. So like that was not even a bad thing, but I've definitely.
I
done
think
it a
we
few
should
times.
not be allowed phones when
Yeah.
you're like inebriated.
I've seen a
Only
TikTok.
bad things happen. I message exes.
Yeah,
I
well, you
upload
shouldn't.
stuff that I shouldn't be uploading.
I seen a TikTok where these girls were like, our thing is when we go on a night out, we both get a little shit phone that we've got. We have like a Motorola fucking Razr hot pink flip phone, so we can phone a taxi and phone each other if we lose each other, and that is it on a night out. Because what the fuck do you need a phone for?
You don't.
Only bad things.
Yeah, only bad things happen.
Yeah, so you don't need a phone. But then I'm always like, I just want to, like, now when you're so hungover and you're like, delete my Instagram. Coming off
Yeah,
Insta for a bit.
That's what I do always
you
do.
did it like last week.
Yeah,
did you
yeah,
not?
yeah. I did it for like 4 days.
Yeah, because you mentioned me like, I've been off Instagram
Yeah.
for like a few. Was it not a few hours?
Maybe it was. Honestly, if I'm off Instagram for like 3 hours, I'm like, oh my god, the internet
eat,
has
pray,
forgotten who I am.
Yeah, I know. And then I was thinking, I just wanted to delete Instagram, but I'm like, I fucking can't.
I know it's.
I would have no
horrible-
livelihood.
I know, and also you need validation. That's my
Yeah,
problem.
of
Is I love the
course.
validation. But I once was somebody sent me. I'd been on the train with my dog, and my dog was on my lap, and I was wearing a suit that had pictures of dogs on it. Like it was a crazy outfit, and I had a dog. And this girl had uploaded a picture of me, and she was like a quite big influencer, and it was me and the dog. And she was being really nice. She was like, oh my God, I want to be this girl when I grow up. And I literally looked at her and I was like, I'm pretty sure you're fucking the same age as me. But like, someone sent it to me. I didn't follow her, and they sent it to me like, this is you, right? And I was like, yes, of course it's fucking me. Like, you can
Who
see
else?
me in my full like insanity with my dog
Oh my
on my
God.
lap.
Very identifiable.
Yeah, but she was being really nice. But I was like, that's weird. I don't think
Yeah,
that's
that is-
appropriate. You shouldn't do that.
No, I know, and you certainly.
Especially, what if I'm
Yeah.
like lying to people about my whereabouts?
Yeah.
Don't fucking pinpoint
I know,
where I am.
and that's the thing. You can't get away with. And see, would you ever say you're a teller of white lies?
Oh yeah, and I have
About
to,
things like that when you're late, or when you're
Yeah.
like when you're actually just going, fuck, I need to like kind of cover my arse here or not seem like I was inconsiderate about time.
Yeah, I think, I'm always in a sort of like very mild web of like misconstrued statements. If I can't
Good way to word
yeah,
it.
thank you so much. That's because my dad was a politician.
Exactly.
But like, if I can't make various different social things, which I'm sure you're the same, I get invited to so much fucking things. I've got so many people who think I'm their best friend.
Yeah.
And so if I can't make one thing and then I say, well, if I'm not going to that thing, I can't go to any of them. So I'll just create like lots of different catered reasons to these people.
Yeah.
And then whoever I end up seeing that day, I say, I'm under embargo today. You cannot post any pictures of me.
That's so good.
I'm under embargo. Like, you
Yeah.
can't publish where I am. I want to do this bit, right, which is obviously, that I think I'm Scottish. I know
Okay.
you hate Buckfast, but
Yeah.
I brought it. I'm not going to make you drink it, but I might have a sip of it. Do you like this?
No, I literally I can't. It makes me so sad because I like all Scottish things.
Can I
but
say I love the branding?
yeah, no, it's do you know what? It's so synonymous with a specific type of guy in Scotland, and there's a lot of guys
Who is
that
he?
make.
Is he single?
it's literally hundreds of guys in Glasgow.
Can you describe them?
They basically they're personality is a kind of I'm holding a bottle of Buckfast in a picture, because it originates from being a Ned, a chav, and then it kind of there's this kind of thing of like I'm grown up and I'm obviously not like a chav, but it's kind of
So are these guys like
bottle
posh,
of tonic.
posh people?
It's like, see, I do this character in sketches where it's like based on lots of people I've met in Glasgow who are really, really, really posh, and they do the whole working class culture as a costume thing. And that's like they'd be like, yeah, get me a bottle of tonic. Like I love a bottle of Bucky, and like it's like no, you don't. And
Do you
it's
think
like I know
I
you're
have
going.
a touch of him?
Well, definitely, you're holding it in your hand right now.
And I'm
Do you know
not
what's such
drinking it.
a funny thing that any Scottish, like actual famous Scottish person, right, that goes about in the world? No, I said that wrong. Any celebrity that comes to Scotland and does any sort of press, they always make them do this thing, and it's like, try and guess what this Scottish word means, or try Buckfast.
Oh my god, no, I'm so basic.
Calm
Okay, well I can one up that, right?
Okay.
So I've got my dad who also isn't Scottish. Well, he is, but like in the same way that I
Well,
am.
see, because I'll be honest, right, I thought your dad would have a Scottish accent
But everybody
because
thinks that.
of Malcolm Tucker.
I know, but he, and also he's sort of created this like brand for himself as a Scottish person, but
It's just not. So
he's
he
got,
wasn't
like,
born in Scotland either.
No, but he grew up going to Tyree a lot, so
Yeah,
his dad was from Tyree.
That was so. I remember when I first met you, because we were sharing like our shows were back to back last year at the Fringe, and we would like cross over before shows. And I remember you saying something like, "Oh, yeah, my granny's from Tyree," and I was like, "That's so fucking random." I've never met someone from Tyree in my life.
Yeah, it's so random.
I've never been. I would love
and
to
then
go.
I keep weirdly meeting, Kate McKinnon from SNL.
Yeah,
Her granddad's from Tyree.
I read this on Wikipedia once.
So I met her, and my friend Scarlett, who'd met Kate McKinnon and knew that I was from Tyree, put together our like family trees and realised that we were like loosely related.
Oh
But
my
how random is
God.
that? Two comedy icons.
Okay, dual citizenship
Yeah.
incoming.
But so my dad's not, but my dad's identity is that he's Scottish over English. So he's always taught us that we're not English. We're
That's
Scottish.
good. I really support that.
So he has sent questions for us both to answer.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to know any of them.
Yeah, here we go. Grace, little Scottish Grace. What is the old firm?
You don't know.
I don't know that.
It's it's actually quite contentious.
Is it Rangers?
And
Celtic?
yes,
Really?
yeah. So that's when they play Bups and say. It's good because you won't have the listenership of the a lot of the podcasts I would go on. It's basically a lot of people. So I'm a Celtic fan. A lot of people would say that it's an old firm doesn't exist anymore because
don't they hate each other?
no, yeah, that's
But was the old firm?
the old firm is when they play each other.
Right.
So
okay.
when Rangers are playing Celtic, they would call it the old firm. But Rangers went into liquidation, so they had to come back with a new title. So I think I can't remember, they're officially called like the Rangers Football Club now instead. So it's like people are like Rangers don't exist, Rangers died.
Oh my God.
Fuck them. So you can't call it
That's
that.
so mean.
No, it's not.
It's mean.
It's not. It's
This is
real.
why I can't engage in sport.
But then
It's
so
just
then
mean.
so now people wouldn't call it that anymore.
Right.
They'd be like, you
Really?
can't-
Because
you
they're
can't-
like, oh, they don't exist.
Yeah.
Even though they do.
But I think it's a kind of a bit people do. People.
Okay.
Yes.
This is why I can't like sports. It's people are horrible to each other.
Number 2, what does dreich mean?
I think
I
it's
don't know
it's
that.
when it's raining, and it's like right. No, not today, but like past few days been quite dreary.
What is that in Gaelic?
I don't fucking know.
Right. Well, this is what I mean. He's just trying to outsmart even
But
you.
this is the thing I told you they do to celebrities in Scotland. Like if like there's a video of like Jeff Goldblum going, "What is a fanny?" or something, or what is like what is fucking Drake? They probably ask him that.
Okay.
Grace, number 3, what is the third biggest city in Scotland?
I'm gonna say Inverness.
It's got to be Aberdeen, I think.
What is it, Filippo?
Aberdeen, yes,
Oh.
I was right.
Oh, okay.
Number 4, how many notes are there on a bagpipe chanter?
Oh, you're not gonna know that.
Do you know that?
No, obviously not.
No, I don't
How
know.
many
Fucking,
notes are on a bagpipe chanter?
I don't even know what that sentence means.
Well, it's that part. I really want to learn the bagpipes, but he's always refused to teach me.
See, when the thing about that Scotland's representation is so minimal.
Highland cows.
Yeah, it's so but see when Britain's Got Talent was they honestly I think one year didn't come to Glasgow when they're
Because
doing the
everyone just
auditions
did the
because they just had the bagpipes that Simon Cowell would be like, no more bagpipes. It's so fucking funny.
That's so funny.
But I love it at a wedding.
I love it. And a funeral, my
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
Amazing
yeah.
Grace on the bagpipes.
Oh yeah, amazing.
How
Grace.
many is there? We've only got 2 more.
Right, cool.
6. Such a boring question, Dad.
What's the best-selling drink, soft drink in Scotland?
You know the answer to this because I just told you before.
It's Irn-Bru.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. And Paul is
You
officially...
don't need to confirm that.
Paul is the face of Irn-Bru.
Yeah, ATM, I really am.
Yeah. That'll be you for life. You're locked in.
Name 5 Scottish sports stars.
Name 5 Scottish sports stars.
I can do that.
I can't think of one.
You can definitely think of one.
Oh,
Tennis.
Andy Murray, Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
That's
going to
it.
get you there. No, you can do... I suppose I'm trying to think of ones that you might know. Do you remember, maybe this was a Scotland-only advert, but there was a famous advert for Bran Flakes, and it had a cyclist, and he'd go, on your bike. It might have just been in Scotland.
what was his name?
Well, that's the fucking idea of the game. Chris Hoy. No.
Oh my God, I know
Yeah.
him. Yeah, okay.
Because there was like 2 famous cyclists because they had him, then they had
And
the other one that
Bradley
like
Wiggins.
who was like had the Johnny Marr haircut and like
yes, yeah.
yeah. Well, you got 3. I think that's good.
Well, I didn't get Chris Hoy, but
Oh yeah, well you nearly did.
What is the slogan of Clan Campbell, of which you're apparently a member?
I mean, you're not gonna know that.
No,
I don't know that. This is what I mean. He's so pub quiz.
What island did Donald Trump's mother come from?
Oh, what island did Donald Trump's mother come from?
Is it Harris or is it? I know this. I know it's not Shetland, right? And it's not one of the big ones. Lewis. Yes.
Wow, well done. I thought she was.
Have
from
you ever seen a picture of
Glasgow.
her?
No.
It just looks like him, but like an
No.
old woman. It's so fucking funny. Oh.
Because when Janie Godley went to that
Yeah.
was near Glasgow, wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
Which Scottish figure
Oh,
did Mel Gibson play in Braveheart?
William Wallace, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Wait, did he ask what character? What? Not
Yeah.
character.
Was it William Wallace?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
Braveheart. And then he said,
Where does Scotland play their home rugby matches?
Murrayfield. And oh, sorry, it's your quiz.
"No, I don't know any of
It's
these.
in Edinburgh. It's in Edinburgh.
I'm not Scottish, obviously,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't know any
Yeah,
of
but
these
also
for London.
these are not
this
like-
is just too
yeah.
intellectual for me.
Also, too many
And
sports.
where is the former Labour leader John Smith buried? You'll definitely get that one.
Well, he said that because my middle name is Iona, named after Iona.
Iona's my favourite place in the world.
Really?
Genuinely, I know that sounds very dramatic, but it's true.
Really?
So when I was in school, they took us like basically there was like it was part of like RE. Would you call it RE? Religious
RE,
education. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many cultural differences.
I
But they basically for some reason took a group of kids every year to Iona, and we stayed there and we lived in the abbey, and you had to like be part of the community and like lend a hand. You had to do the dishes and prepare the
Wow.
food, and I fucking loved it. I don't know. I just liked it. Was such a
It's
beautiful
so
place.
beautiful.
And then I went back again when I was like 18, and one of my friends goes quite often, and I always want to go back, but it's just so fucking expensive
and
to
far.
get there
Yeah.
and stay there when you go. And it's one of the things where you go, fuck, well, I could just go abroad for cheaper.
This is what's crazy about the Scottish Islands.
Yeah,
is
it's-
they are far away.
and like
To get to
Shetland
Tiree,
and
the boat
Orkney,
is like 8 hours.
it's just that you just think, oh, can I be fucked?
I know, but it is special.
But both times I went to Iona was because the school paid for it.
Right. Well, you
'Cause they wanted to
you should
indoctrinate
surely with all
us.
the Irn-Bru money be able to go back soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you so much, Paul Black. You've been an amazing guest on Late to the Party.
Thank you for
Last
having me.
question is, what is your excuse when you want to leave a party?
I just say, sorry, guys, I'm off. I don't have anything profound to say or anything and smart to say.
I'm so bad at leaving parties. I have to make up really elaborate
Do you
lies.
do Irish goodbyes? No.
No, I'm trying to get more into that, but I'm such a people pleaser that I have to be like, oh, I've got to go back. The dog's been on her own. Like, I have to
Yeah. Oh well.
justify
I can't
it.
do that anymore.
Yeah,
But I
oh,
used
I'm
to
so
be able to do
sorry.
that with my
I'm
dog.
so sorry.
But that was a good excuse.
Paul's
I
dog
need to get
just
the dog.
passed on to dog heaven.
Yeah, and it's really sad.
It's really sad. It's the worst thing in the world. Well,
And
let's
such
end
a
on
good
that lovely
to
note.
end
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for having me.